Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of Chef Primus. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to cook the best steak that you ever had in your life. Let's get to it. Okay, the first thing to making a great steak is the steak itself. You want to get a steak that has a marble color and texture to it. Now this steak doesn't have the best marble color and texture to it, but from where I got it from, that was pretty much the best one they had. But you basically want it to look like a marble floor or granite countertop where you see the fat is mixed in with all the red meat. That's a sign of a great steak. So as far as the ingredients go, we're gonna need butter, extra virgin olive oil, salt, black peppercorn, some rosemary, some thyme, and garlic. Alright, now the first step you want to do is let the steak sit out and get to room temperature. So that's what I've already did. And now let's get ready to get the pan ready while the steak sits. Now for your pan, you want to turn your heat to like medium low, like on most electric stoves, like what I have. You want to turn it to around 4 to start off with. Get the pan nice and warm. Go ahead and take your olive oil, pour it in the pan. Just enough to coat the pan. Some people use canola oil or other oils, but to me, olive oil works best because it won't burn. Just take it, move it around the pan so you coat the pan. Once you get the pan warm enough, you can turn it up depending on your stove. I wouldn't go past medium because you don't want the stove too high unless you want to cook medium rare or rare. And basically all you're doing is searing the outside and then you're done. Me personally, I like my steaks medium well to well done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook my steak a little slower, and while this pan is getting ready, I'm gonna go ahead and start seasoning. Now I must tell you, the trick on cooking a great steak is how you actually cook the steak. You really don't need a lot of ingredients. What I'm gonna show you is how I use basic ingredients. I don't over season my steak, but it comes out perfect. So I'm gonna start with some salt. I'm gonna take some salt, put it in my hand. Just a little bit, not too much. I'm gonna pinch it and just sprinkle it over the top. Take the salt, get a nice even coat over the top. You kind of want to put, I wouldn't say a lot of seasoning and salt on it, but a good amount so that you can rub it in when you're done. And trust me, it'll come out great. I'm going to take a little bit more salt because I really want the flavors of the steak to come out when I cook it. I'm not going to use too much on one side. But you will see when I'm done how it's going to come out. There. Now I'm going to take my peppercorn. Some people use regular ground up pepper, but I like to grind it myself. Just to give it that nice heat to the steak. Coat it nicely with the peppercorn. A nice layer over it. that. I'll take just the last pinch of salt, throw it on here. Now I'm gonna flip it over. Take my steak, flip it over, and do the same thing to this side. Okay, now for seasoning, that's pretty much it. I got this side done. I got my salt, my peppercorn, spread all over it nice and evenly. Rubbed it in some. Flip it over to the other side. Got a nice even coat. So that's really all you need for a good steak to season it. You really don't need all those other seasonings unless that's your preference. But for me, I use salt and peppercorn. And that's it as far as like a rub on my steak. Now let's get to the pan and get ready to throw the steak in the pan. Okay, now that we got our pan ready and nice and hot, you want to take a pair of tongs and lay the steak in the pan away from you so it doesn't slide. Just like that. Now you want to cook this steak about 1 minute on each side so to start cooking evenly. So like I said, 60 seconds on each side, let it sear. Take it after 60 seconds and flip it. Put some grip on it. Like I said, just let it cook on each side for 60 seconds. You get a nice even coating on your steak. Now another trick you can do is take some garlic. You don't even have to peel it. Just crush it up like this. Go to my cutting board, crush it. Basically, I just crush it with my hand. You can throw it in the pan just like this. And let it cook with your steak. Now it's time for me to flip the steak again to the other side. Like I said, you want to do this every 60 seconds. You get a nice even coating on your steak. You take the garlic, move it around the pan to get that flavor in the pan. Once you cook down the garlic a little bit, you start rubbing it on top of the steak. And give it that nice garlic flavor to the steak. That's if you like garlic. I know some people don't like garlic, but trust me, this tastes wonderful on top of this steak. Put in about another 60 seconds, so I'm going to take some of the garlic and rub it on top of the steak, like so. Get some of that nice flavor and juices on the steak. Take the other piece of garlic, rub it on the other side, just like this. Kind of like you're basting it. You just want to rub the garlic all over the steak. And return it to the pan. And now you take your steak and you flip it. Man, does it smell so good right now. I wish you guys could smell this. But the flavors coming out of this steak is wonderful. Like I said, it's all about how you cook your steak. It's not about really what you put on it. Because if you pick a good steak, the natural flavors of the steak and the fat is going to make the steak taste good anyway. So everything else you do to it is pretty much just complementing the steak. So now that we got the garlic going, I'm going to go ahead and rub some on this side. Get that garlic flavor on this side. Pretty much what you do as far as the garlic goes. And right about now, this steak is about medium rare. But like I said, I want mine cooked a little longer. So I'm going to take some rosemary and throw it in there. And some fresh thyme, throw it in there. Let it cook with the steak. Get those fresh, earthy flavors with the steak. Man, this is going to be so good when I'm done. And now while you wait for that, you can start with your butter. You're going to need a decent sized spoon. A tablespoon would do. because you're going to need to baste this steak. What you're going to do, you're going to take some butter, cut it in slices, put it in the pan. A couple of slices. And I wish you guys could smell this right now. I wish they had smell-o-vision. This right here. This is like restaurant quality steak. Alright, so right about now it's about time to flip the steak. So I'm going to take my time and my rosemary, put it to the side. I'm going to flip my steak like so. I'm going to add some more butter so I can get more of a sauce in the pan. Okay, now that we got our butter melted down, you want to tilt the pan, start basting it. So now you want to take the pan and tilt it, start basting it with the butter and the seasoning from the rosemary and the thyme and the garlic. And this is what really sets the steak apart from any other steak that you've ever made. Baste it. Flip it to the other side and continue to do the same thing. Flip it to the side. Let that butter drain to one side and keep basting it. That's so. Like I said, guys, I wish you was here to smell this. This smells so good. Yeah, guys, this is pretty much what you do. Now you just let it cook to however well you want it done. Just keep flipping it. But usually, like I said, they're for medium rare. So rare is already done. It's been done. But for myself, I like a steak that's medium well to well. And I'm going to cook this one well just for the purpose of this video. Now, another tip for cooking steak is usually on a steak, you'll have a layer of fat on the side, like on this side. So what you want to do, if you had a deeper pan than I have, you can set it on the side and just render that fat down, let it cook down, so you don't have any chewy parts in your steak. I know some people like the fat in the steak, but it's good to render it down, let it cook. And this way, you won't have any chewy parts in your steak. And now that your steak is done, all you have to do now at this point, take it out the pan, let it drip for a little bit, take it out the pan, get some of that excess oil and fat drip off, and you can lay it down, and let your steak rest for a couple of minutes. There you go. Now you have a nice restaurant quality steak that you can serve and be proud to serve to your dinner guests, party guests, a date. And that's it, guys. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the very first episode of Chef Primus. I'm going to bring you more episodes like this, teaching you how to cook different things, and we'll have some fun. And to end this, I'm going to give you one of my favorites. This is a wine that I usually pair with the steak. It's a San Sebastian's Vintage Red, which to me goes really good with the steak. It's a red wine. You can choose whatever wine you want, but me personally, that's what I like, and that's what I usually pair with my steak. And I'll either cook homemade mashed potatoes or roasted potatoes, red potatoes. Either broccoli or asparagus to go with it. Sometimes shrimp. So it's all to your liking, to your preference, what you would like to do with your steak. This is it, guys. Restaurant quality steak that you can serve to anyone. And like I said, I want to thank you for tuning in to the very first episode. I want to bring you more content. And don't forget to hit that like button. And subscribe, share this video, and leave a comment down below on any other ideas you think I could have done or something you think I could have done better. I'm always open to suggestions. So, till next time, guys, live laugh, and love. Peace. Okay, now that we got our butter melted down, you want to tilt the pan and start basting.